Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show, the Monday after Championship Sunday.
That's right,
Anthony, how are you doing, sir?
Dude, I feel good. Beautiful Monday here. Honestly, still a little cold. I love that. Thought it'd be warmer today. Stoked to talk some football, obviously some hockey, some golf, and I even caught some of the Australian Open this weekend, dude.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you see how I think Kyrgios is going to retire? Like the guy with the hat.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't see that.
Like, he's calling it like some mental thing that he can still play, but he can't get like jacked up for the tournaments. I mean, it sounds like a bunch of bull to me, but you know.
So he's just like looking for an adrenaline rush? Is that what he's what?
I don't honestly, I don't know. That guy's always been weird though.
Right.
Joker told me from day one about him. But
not enough juice, dude.
Yeah, not enough juice. Whoa, we got the juice. We got the juice. Testing.
The full crew.
Everything's testing. All right. No, a lot to talk about. First, though, I would like a Staten Island synopsis, Tony, if you would. Anything crazy? I'm sure you had some good food.
Of course, dude. Of course, the good food. So, like, we'll start with Saturday morning. You know, my dad and I, we run some errands and whatnot. And, you know, that was my brother's birthday dinner. So he requested raviolis, which is very interesting to have on Saturday night because normally Sunday is macaroni dinner day.
Okay. So these are just cheese raviolis?
Oh, yeah. Ricotta cheese. Yeah. And so the night before, my mother made the sauce. So she, like, made the sauce with, like, the ribs and sausage in there, braciole, whatever. Was in the fridge. We were in charge of heating it up. But obviously, we had to make the raviolis, heat up the sauce, make the pepperoni, the meatballs, throw them in there.
Pepperoni?
Yes.
Wait, so pepperoni goes in the sauce?
No, so pepperoni goes separately because it's kind of spicy. So what we do is just cut up, like, a stick of pepperoni, throw it in a little pot with the sauce in it separately. And then it kind of cooks a little bit, you know, makes the sauce a little spicy. It's freaking delicious, dude.
But I'm trying to, but at the end, it's with everything or it's not?
No, it's always separate.
Like you just throw it on top, like when you're making your plate? Like
I put it on the side of my plate. Yeah, on the side of my plate. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't mix it in with the rest of the
No, because then it'll make all the sauce spicy, kind of.
Just for a little bite.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. Recommend it highly.
That sounds good.
So we were doing that. My brother was like putting shocks on his Jeep, so like that was going on too. So we were just kind of hanging out. The food.
The drinking.
No. I had a Dr. Pepper with dinner, Brian. Okay.
So no drinks all weekend.
No, actually, no. I think I had a sip of a beer.
Wow.
And that's really about it. And then Sunday we did tacos. And we kind of just vegged out a little bit. We watched a movie, watched The Holdovers, Oscar-nominated movie. Let's go, dude. Great movie. Yeah, tacos were solid. And I was watching the games. Obviously, caught a little bit of the Australian Open. Right, so Sunday morning, we watched both football games. Oh, obviously watched the Rangers game Saturday night. That was sick.
Yeah.
Because we were having dinner, actually, late dinner.
And the way it started,
down to
every
nothing.
Curse word you could think of.
Literally, and like, dinner table. So my back was to the TV. I was like, fine, this is good. My back's to the TV. I don't care. And then they just started scoring left and right. So that was sick. And we had cake, obviously. Have a birthday song. It was great. It was a good time. Good desserts, dude. Oh,
what was for dessert?
It was just cake that my brother's girlfriend made. And then I guess my dad had bought like a store-bought triple chocolate cake.
Oh wow.
Those are always so good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You can't beat
beat
that.
that, dude.
Yeah, can't beat the combo, the food, the football, the camaraderie, Tony.
Camaraderie at home, dude. The Staten Islanders.
But let's start with Kev's bullshit here. What's he saying?
All right, let's get to the comments here. We do have Kev Do in the house with a heavy let's go. He says, we want the smoke. We went 2-0 thanks to the last minute TDs by the Lions. Hashtag rep TJ, rep DTV, rep the sports board. You can't stop me, he says. His picks are gold.
Yeah, I mean, a lucky cover, I would say, with the, especially, well, with both, really, if you think about it. the spread and the total, but specifically the total.
Yeah.
And listen, like I said, I was talking to Tony about this pre-show. My responsibility, I should have never brought up the totals. Say it all the time. I don't like taking totals. Totals suck. And we don't do it all year. We do it here. And it sets us back a game. And we'll have to figure out the stipulations for next week. But, it just kind of ruined it because, we had the right pick, right side. Despite Tony's hesitation, went the right side. And here we are. So
yeah,
continue on.
Here we are, dude. Josh B. also in the house saying, "What up, fam?" With heavy. Let's go as well. Kev got y'all good this week in them picks. He says.
Yeah, well, see, isn't this? Listen, I don't even really used to go back and forth with them too much, but I'm just saying. Seems a little ridiculous. Okay, it took a Lion collapse, Dan Campbell being an idiot, and it's the only total you took all year. We went pick to pick with you guys for these playoffs with the sides. So we mess up one total and you guys are walking on water. I mean, it seems a little extreme, Tony, no?
They certainly are enjoying their win, I guess you could say at this point. But I mean, it is what it is. They did win. Kev Do says, Josh, you mean Kev got good all season, he says. And we have Michael Buckta in the house. Going to be a trash Super Bowl. He seems kind of tight, actually.
And we're going to obviously recap the games, all that. He texted me that after I fell asleep last night, so I'm answering the text now. Michael, take it easy. He was saying, like, nobody wants to watch it. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, this is like two of the most talented teams in the league, stars all over the place. I mean, it seems a little, not to call him out, but it seems a little spiteful, Tony. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's sour grapes,
I'm trying to
right?
think who
sour
he likes
grapes?
for football.
Isn't it? I feel like he's actually I don't remember.
Because he's so into the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like,
isn't he like a Penguins fan too in hockey? Like he doesn't really.
Okay,
and then he's a Celtics fan in basketball. I think he's like all over the place with every sport.
If you could remind us there, but just it's gonna be a good time. Relax, all right.
And then
here we are.
Clippers embarrassed Tatum on his own dump. 115.96. I'm sure we'll talk about it. And then of course, JB, we're clapping back. Can't be luck. I've done it all year.
Not with totals.
Kev
it was
says,
one total.
we wiped the floor with you all year. Come on, bro.
The floor. You got lucky with a total. A total. I'll say it 10 times. Kev, zero humility. So besides that, they got lucky with the total. What were you saying?
No, that's it.
Okay.
It's all the comments, dude. That's
and Michael says he'll never like the Celtics by any means. Any memes? Do we have
no
memes,
dude?
Never in a million years, buddy. No, but who do you like for football, Michael? Though I'm like a little like taken back here. I'm trying to think about who your team is. But while we're waiting for him to answer that, like I said, there is a lot to talk about. We did have another surprise winner on the PGA Tour. So back-to-back weeks, Nick Dunlap, the amateur last week. And then I don't know if you saw over the weekend, he officially accepted the invitation for the PGA Tour.
Let's go,
waited
dude.
until after the college golf season to try to win a national title, but then he couldn't get money for the PGA tournaments he played in. So he's like, I'm going to take the money.
Wow,
you get a 2-year exemption on all events.
Yeah.
So he's in. And then we have here Mathieu Pavone winning. And I'm trying to, I could see if I could find out the exact, it's something about like the first Frenchman to win on the PGA Tour in like a long time.
I think the first ever.
It is. Okay. So it is the first ever.
Read.
So he had a one-shot win over Nikolai Hogard. So really battled it out. Difficult conditions over the weekend. Started out 69-65. Closed 72 and 69 on Sunday. Good enough for that one-shot win. You look at Hogard, 67, 66, 73, 70. Nate Lashley and Jake Knapp tied with Steven Jägermeister, all at 11 under. So kind of interesting. This wasn't, a full star-studded event. Nevertheless, there were some names here, and you look at those top five. Nobody that jumps off the page. Really the most notable top guy. You had Finau at 10 under, tied for sixth. So another top finish here at Torrey Pines. You also had Xander, one shot behind him at 9 under, as well as Ludwig Gadberg, Matsuyama at 8 under, Max Homa, always strong in these California events, 8 under par as well. And my guy, Ashke Bahadia, also 8 under. But kind of interesting. And, obviously, the amount of big names has gotten smaller over the last couple of years with the live defections. But, you had two, decent courses here in the last 2 weeks, and you had, big names playing in these events, and the unheralded guys win back-to-back. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would say it's very interesting. It's a theme I think none of us really saw coming.
Oh, by the way, this guy is,
got?
not to cut you off, but is first French golfer to win on the PGA Tour since World War II. So that's a long time.
Wow, dude. Do you know who it was?
Nah,
What tournament? Where? I couldn't even imagine what golf looked like in World War II. How'd they even broadcast those things?
The dress shirts, the wooden drivers.
That's crazy.
Oh man. Crazy. Good story, right?
No, I mean, it's a tremendous story. And like you said, tremendous story too for the PGA in general. I mean, to see these guys come up, it obviously begs the question. I mean, do you think if some golfers that were on Live Tour were here, do you think it would be totally different?
I don't know. I mean, you had Morikawa here. You had Xander Schauffele. You had Tony Finau. So, I mean, sure, if you threw in Bryson with Brooks, I mean,
John Rahm.
It's John Rahm. I mean, and then, of course, if Scotty played in this tournament. So, I mean, argument remains to be made for sure. But I think also, though, we have to keep in mind, and listen, a lot of these guys, it will be a one-and-done scenario where, they win, we think they're next, and never win again. But also, a lot of times guys are developed from that first win, and they take it from there and run with it. So let's see if Pavone and Dunlap end up being two of the better golfers on tour the next couple of years.
Do you think that it's good for the PJ or bad when these no-names guys kind of win?
Well, I mean, I think it depends what they do with it.
Right.
If they do nothing, then it's kind of just like, I mean, obviously it's not a waste of time for them, but, you'd like to see it lead to somewhere. That's all. You
think Dunlap gets a little bit of a fast track to being like a youthful face of the tour, or?
I mean, again, it's what he does with the opportunity, but you would think, confidence has to be riding pretty high.
Are we seeing him next week, or what's the deal with that? Yeah, right away. Let's go,
Pebble
dude.
Beach. And what's so annoying? We talk about this every year. Looked up the weather forecast again. Rain for the majority of the tournament. I mean, that's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
We just missed it too. I think today they're 60 and sunny. It's like we never can just. It has to be so cloudy. The guys were wearing all knit caps last year. I remember. So that is a shame. But I mean, it's still a good watch regardless. Like that, there's those couple of holes by the water that are just insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So a good watch.
So yeah, that's an elevated event. So a little different than usual. I think there's only 70 guys in the field. And the Pro-Am, and I don't think Bill Murray is in it anymore, but used to be you could make the cut, play all four, and now it's you only play the first 2 days. And Michael, he is a Steelers
Pittsburgh
guy.
Okay, what's Pittsburgh?
Okay, so I don't know, Chiefs, I mean, they're not like exact rivals. And I'm sure he didn't want the Ravens to win, so I guess just not who he was hoping for. Your mother also says good morning.
Good morning, Mom.
And then he goes NBA again. Kobe's way better than Curry. And then he says also we gotta discuss that 2 overtime win by the Lakers on Saturday night versus freaking Curry. I didn't even realize that happened, honestly. So tuned into the football. And then obviously I told you I passed out a little early on Saturday.
Passed out.
Those damn IPAs, Tony.
Yeah. Belly bombers, dude.
You don't like IPAs, but you like Allagash, though? I know.
Allagash White's good. Yeah.
Okay, but that's a lager, right?
It is a lager.
What is the difference between like a lager and a light beer?
Well, a light beer is just like it's just not as strong. Okay. Like a lager is a heavier beer.
But it depends. But Allagash White isn't heavy, right? I mean,
I guess not.
But there's heavier, like a dark lager, a Sam Adams lager. Those are always heavier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But and then like Land Shark. Yeah, Land Shark is technically a lager, but that feels like a light beer.
Yeah, it's a summer lager.
Yeah. You're tight. I mean,
I love Land Sharks. Yeah.
Land Sharks was always like a thing. Like
Coronas, Pacificos. Yeah. I love those.
Pacificos. Haven't had too many of those.
Oh, dude, so good.
Yeah.
Modelo's, obviously, the
music,
dude. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens this week at Pebble Beach and what Dunlap can do. But it's nice that all 50 of the top golfers in the world are going to be there. So I think it'll definitely be a fun event. But we know what we have to talk about now. Let's go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So what a championship Sunday it was.
Yeah,
2-1 possession games.
Tony. Yes.
The early game coming from Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Park here, as the Ravens, were looking to go back to their first Super Bowl since the 2012 season, defending champion Chiefs, looking to defend their title, and they will be after a 17-10 defeat at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens. And it's kind of interesting the way this game started out. Felt like there was going to be a decent amount of scoring, but after halftime, we only had one field goal.
Crazy.
So most of the scoring done in the first quarter. And how we got started here, you had Kansas City decide to defer the opening coin toss instead of taking the ball. That resulted in a punt from Baltimore, who went 3 and out. Kansas City goes on a 10-play, 86-yard drive, and really Mahomes, getting whatever he wanted, and finishing it off with who else but Travis Kelce, who's now the all-time leader in receptions in NFL playoff history. 19-yard touchdown that made it 7-0. Baltimore did answer their only touchdown drive of the game, and they go 6 plays, 75 yards. You look at this drive, the big play. Lamar almost gets sacked, and this is after they had a couple runs, but we're passing way more than I think the Chiefs expected. But he goes to Zay Flowers, 30 yards, so that tied the game at 7. The Chiefs, though, another long touchdown drive, capped off by an Isaiah Pacheco, a rushing touchdown. This drive was 16 plays, 75 yards. It really just impressive how, so methodical, converting third downs. I mean, you could really sense that this Chiefs team, been there, done that. We've just seen it, so many times before. So that made it 14-7. Baltimore fumbles, giving KC a gift, but they go for it on 4th down after initially, not getting it on 3rd. You looked at it seemed like it should have been challenged. It wasn't. So they turn the ball over on downs, but Baltimore has to punt the ball back to Kansas City, who actually punts it back to them, and then Kansas City gets one more possession right before the end of the half, converting a field goal with Harrison Butker, one of the more dominant playoff kickers of recent memory, from 52. That made it 17-10. And that was it for the first half. Second half, bunch of punts, and really the turning point in the game, it started with Zay Flowers there, losing the ball on the 1-inch line. Tony.
Unbelievable, dude.
It would have been a 3-point game. Instead, Kansas City gets the ball back. And then also, after forcing a punt after that, Lamar throws an interception inside the red zone. They do force Kansas City to punt. They do kick a field goal, but they can't recover the onside kick. And that was the end of the game. After Valdez-Scantling, reels in a 31-yard reception. So kind of ironic, after struggling with drops all year, he ices the game for Kansas City. Kelce, another huge game here, 11 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown. And Kansas City is going back to the Super Bowl, their 4th Super Bowl appearance in Patrick Mahomes' 6 seasons as the starting quarterback. So quite an impressive feat. In the combination of Reed and Mahomes and Kelsey continues to be so dominant in these big games. And on the other side of things, this was Lamar's chance. He comes up short. And I think it's not, solely on Lamar here for why they didn't win this game. I think a lot, just as much blame. We'll talk about coaching in the NFC Championship game, but the fact that the run was just abandoned. I mean, no running back, had more than 3 carries. Like, I don't understand. We talked about it going into this game. That's what they do so well, and they just kind of didn't even try to run the ball. I mean, I think that's pretty egregious, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, look, for the Ravens, I mean, I really couldn't agree more. I mean, you look at the lack of scoring for them, really, only scoring 10 points. I understand we talked about the Chiefs' defense and whatnot, but like you said, we talked about all last week, how the Ravens come at you I have a triple threat offense in terms of having Lamar being able to run, having a good running game, having the ability to throw downfield. They only threw downfield the whole game, it seemed. And even Lamar, like, I know he had 8 carries for 54 yards. All those towards it was fourth quarter when he was scrambling, when he then started to scramble. It's like you didn't utilize him all game. You didn't utilize your running back very well all game. And it's like why did you do that? Like you said, you kind of abandoned what your game plan was all season. I don't know if you thought maybe the Chiefs were preparing for that, and you're like, oh, we're not going to run it all. We're just going to just throw downfield.
But that's not what you do best.
But I mean, no, it's not playing to your strengths.
Right,
you played into Kansas City's hands, it seems.
Yeah.
And honestly, dude, like, I don't know. I was not really that impressed with the Chiefs. I mean, I understand, you look at Mahomes' numbers, past, this postseason, really, he has great. I think he has a little over 700 yards throwing. Only 4 touchdowns. I feel like that's a little low for him. I mean, and even this game, he had just 1 throwing touchdown, right?
Tony,
I don't know. I feel like I'm saying like Baltimore had the opportunity to win this game. I mean, like, the Chiefs only scored 17 points. I can't even tell you the last time the Chiefs didn't score in the second half. Like, I can't remember tell you the last time.
Right, but I mean, I don't know. I guess just the way you started that, it just seemed like you were trying to like take a slight at Mahomes, and it's like, listen, I mean, Baltimore, we know how good their defense is. They tightened up second half.
No, yeah.
And I think too, when you're up and it's 17-7 most of the second half, you're playing a little differently. And obviously, if they were trailing, obviously, they could have scored on that last drive, so they could have done a little more. But I mean, I just watching the way, I mean, he literally is just so talented. And
I'm not slighting anyone, Brian. Don't take it personally. I know you and Mahomes family, very tight and everything. But I'm just saying, like, as the Ravens had more than enough opportunity to win this game, like, they lost this game for themselves. And it is because of that Lamar throw. I mean, that interception, I don't even know what he was thinking. He threw it into triple coverage. And it was in the end zone, dude. Twice in that second half. I mean,
remember what I said, and you said, I don't think they're going to be in that situation. But remember, I said late in the game, down a touchdown or more, they have to throw the ball. It's just not. It's not what they do. They can't come from behind and have to throw the ball down the field. They just went at this the wrong way, and I really do think they had like a really good chance to win if they just pounded it up the middle, and they just didn't do that.
Yeah, and dude, I can't believe Flowers. Right, it was Zay Flowers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, what a ridiculous play! I really can't believe it. Whoever, I forget the defender who forced the fumble. If I saw his name, Snead. It was Snead.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, what a great heads up play by him. But it's like I don't know what Flowers was thinking. I mean, he was getting tackled and he was stretched out like that. You got to protect the ball, man.
Yeah,
like that is so bad. Because that would have been that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
and you're talking about an entirely different game. Like at that point, because I want to say that was the start of the fourth quarter. Maybe that play.
Jeez, no, I feel like it was the end of the third quarter.
End of the third.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, dude. It was just so. It was tough to watch this game. Tough, dude.
Let's see here.
Very frustrating if you're rooting for the Ravens.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay, so this was that was the first play actually of the fourth
quarter.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You know, you've had some people come out, and after a playoff result, there's always strong takes, one way or the other. But I think Dave said this, and I do agree with it. I'm kind of curious what you think. And he says, "Oh, it might be controversial." I think the show retweeted it. But I don't think the Ravens are winning a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson.
I mean, it certainly seems that way, right? I mean, they've had, again, more than enough opportunities. They've had regular seasons that where he looked so good, and then big spots. I mean, he's just not winning. Not only is he not winning, but I feel like it's him throwing interceptions, turnovers, basically, are a reason why they don't go to the Super Bowl.
But it's not consistent passing. 17 incompletions in this one.
Yeah.
And I heard this stat on DNR this morning. For his career, offenses under Lamar Jackson, regular season 28 points per game, postseason 16. That's a big discrepancy.
Yeah, huge discrepancy.
So yeah, and it's interesting because it's just one of those things where, because of his track record, his resume, you're not even gonna, really think twice about it, you would imagine. But Harbaugh, I mean, has to come into question a little bit here. I mean, he knew what type of team he had. We're talking element of surprise, but it's like, first of all, the Chiefs, I mean, how many big games have they been in? They're never going to be surprised. So it just, I don't know. It seemed like you're just getting like too cute with it. I don't, I don't know how else to say it. I mean,
does he call his offensive plays?
No, he's a special teams coach, but I'm just saying, like, obviously he's involved with the game planning. Todd Monken, who was at Georgia last year, is their offensive coordinator. And it's interesting. So the coordinator they used to have, Greg Roman, was a big running guy. They got rid of him because they wanted to be more of a passing team. They lead the league in rushing with this guy, and then abandoned the run in the championship game and lose the game.
That's brutal.
Yeah. So, but what do you think? I mean, obviously, Harbaugh, it's under his watch. He's been there a long time. They've had the one Super Bowl. They've had a lot of great defenses. But just another year they don't get off the hump. I mean, does he, like, in your eyes, come into question at all? Like,
I mean, if you're looking at this singular game, then yeah. But I feel like up until yesterday, I mean, I don't think his coaching was in question at all. No.
I just feel like, though, you know what I mean? They had that one season, and it was just kind of an interesting season that they won the Super Bowl that year. And I've talked to this many times, felt like it wasn't even close to the best team they've had in terms of talent. And then it's like all the years they don't. And I know it's like, oh, just go win a Super Bowl. It's not that easy. I get that. But I don't know. It just seems like that Super Bowl was like the peak of this. And this is like, he's kind of morphed into, fair or not, like kind of like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I would still give him more of a chance than Lamar, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
If you're asking me that.
But they just gave Lamar the contract. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So basically, like, everybody's being left off the hook here. And I do think there is some sensitive nature, though. And we'll get to this with like the Lions. But I feel like when people are in, these high positions of power and are really good, it's became like a travesty to, kind of blame them. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's like to really go hard after Lamar. There's a lot of people I think that'll take offense to that today.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and of course, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's more of the blaming, but it is more, I guess, people when they see like a player like Lamar who had a tremendous regular season.
Right.
You can't doubt that he didn't. It's like, I mean, it's like who are they better off with?
Right.
Like really, like realistically, who are the Ravens really better off with at the quarterback position? That's even like available. Like, let's say, we can replace this quarterback right now, and we will make it to the Super Bowl next year. Because at that point, that's what you're doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many guys are actually out there like that? But I guess what I would say to that is like, but if it's kind of known that it's going to be pretty hard to get to the Super Bowl with Lamar anyway, what's the point? Like, why won't you just try something else? But like, I know, like I said, the timing's not there. Just an extension. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But you feel like some adjustments need to be made here, in order to get over that hump.
Yeah. Sorry, I just was reading some comments here.
Go to him.
Why not, dude? Ryan McNeil, dude.
Favorite of Tony's.
He says, I'm a Pats fan, and I'm sick of crybaby Patriot fans saying Mahomes is not him. He is the humiliation, 100% Himalayan, dude.
It is insane. I know you kind of were already making fun of me before about me knowing the Mahomes family, Tony. But come on. I mean, for me, it's the most talented football player I've ever seen him play. Honestly, he makes every throw in every big game.
Yeah.
And and it's funny. I remember talking about this with you, and people were saying it on a variety of different shows. But like when the Chiefs were struggling earlier this year, it's like, oh yeah, we say they're not the same Chiefs, and then it's Super Bowl time, and they're in the Super Bowl,
right?
And here we are again, and
they're in
the Super Bowl. It's a remark. I mean, I don't know if there's any type of comparison. I mean, I guess you want to talk about. I think a Super Bowl win, he'd be tied with Brady through the age 28 season of the having 3 titles. But to go to 6 straight AFC championship games, and to win 4 of them, 4 Super Bowls before the age of 28. I mean, this is historic stuff that we're seeing.
It certainly is, dude. And I'm pretty impressed, but I'm sure we'll talk about this some more, but not gonna lie, dude. I was watching Brock Purdy last night. I was thinking Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he is good. He is good, but I mean, I know you're trying to steal the moment from Mahomes right here, but
I'm not trying to steal anything, dude. Okay.
And then also Andy Reid. I mean,
genius,
unbelievable, and it's just crazy too, because like for half of his coaching career, like we talk about like Harbaugh coming into question, that was him. Oh, he can't win the big game, but then
the Eagles.
we always overlook. Okay, what were the other reasons around that? You had a diva like Terrell Owens. Other than that, they didn't really have top receivers. Donovan McNabb at that time was like a pretty good quarterback, but come on. I mean, we can clearly see the difference between him and Patrick Mahomes. And it's just like, I feel like you can't think of a more golden scenario for a coach like later in his coaching career right now. It's like,
literally,
yeah, I'll just stick around. I mean, I know we're going to probably be in the Super Bowl and like my quarterback can make any throw. And now after all these years, like especially in the beginning where the defense really was not good at all. Now we also, just happen to have like the top 2 or 3 defense in the whole league.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. It was funny too seeing them celebrate. I never really seen him laugh and smile.
Who?
Andy Reid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But like he as they were like winning, there was like some lineman who was like hugging him like from behind, and it was actually really funny. Yeah,
he was getting
cheesing, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think he used to be a lot more tight because losing all these NFC
always had the
games.
puss on his face.
I think they at one point went to like 6 straight with the Eagles, and he like won one of them or something. Like It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, to go to all these Super Bowls in a short amount of time, and I think people had you always get these fake reports out there, but I had talked about maybe consider retirement. I don't know how he wouldn't go another 5.
Yeah,
honestly. It's like there's nothing to worry about.
Literally. Like until Mahomes retires, really.
Well, he's going to obviously retire first, Reid, over Mahomes, because Reid's 65 right now. So I think the older
another decade. Come on.
Nah, I would say he probably goes 5 at most, just based on what we've seen. But yeah, it's crazy. Did you see Kelsey on the podium?
No, I didn't.
So no, I'm laughing because like you would have got
Taylor
tied. So
up there?
Nance. Afterwards, he kissed her, but she wasn't on the podium. That was just on the field. But Nance like asked him some question, and he just like basically, he said something about how he passed Jerry Rice with reception. He's like, Jerry Rice, legend, but Kansas City, are you ready to fight for your right to part? But shouts it in like this rough voice. Reason I'm mentioning this is because I just was picturing you just being like, oh my God.
It sounds like it, dude. What a chief.
You think he definitely doesn't retire if they win?
Definitely doesn't. If they win, I feel like he would.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, clearly he's still at the top of his game, but you think he just wants to chill with Taylor and then not realize down the road there's going to be a parting of the ways.
They're talking marriage,
Right.
They're saying out there, dude. I don't know. I just feel like it's always smart to retire at the top of your game. And I mean, that's it, dude. Your brother's retiring. You both can retire together. You can do your podcast. You're married to a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
But I guess it's just, it depends what type of person you are. But you would think a part of him just doesn't want to, like, just like we were talking about with Andy Reid, like, he just doesn't want to walk away from this.
Oh yeah, I'm
scenario.
sure he loves it, you know. But you just, you have to know when it's right to walk away, I guess.
But I don't think it would be that crazy for him to at least go one more. I mean, he clearly he could definitely just like not even go to training camp next year and make the Pro Bowl. 100%.
Yeah, but again, still, if you want to end on top, like you want to have a year where you win the Super Bowl, you end on that high note, and then that's it, dude.
But then also, I'm just kind of thinking of things here. But then also, you could think, geez, we could go for a three-peat.
You could try that, dude. Yeah,
has to come into his mind. So.
But then you got to do that,
right?
Like you have to do that.
Yeah, no, they usually have
you're
trouble.
all in, dude.
So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed watching this game.
Yeah.
Just because, hey, I mean, I felt it coming. And it is in all seriousness though, Tony, like for the Ravens, it's kind of tough, like going into the offseason. Like, what do you do? Like you felt like you had to upgrade the receiver position going into this season. You did, but that didn't matter in this game. So what are you doing this offseason that's going to change what the results are next season?
For the Chiefs, you're saying?
No, for the
Ravens. That's a good question, dude. I mean, it's tough. I mean, again, you want to think personnel-wise. I mean, I don't know there's much you could really do.
You led the league in rushing.
Yeah, like there's really nothing you could do. Like, first of all, your defense, by the way, like
is insane.
Yeah. And like, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure that like the sack in the fourth quarter of Patrick Mahomes was the first sack he's taken this postseason.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous stat, by the way. So I mean, I don't know, dude. I just think you had a coaching error, you had a quarterback error, but like you can't really just replace those two.
Yeah.
So it's like you just kind of have to kind of run it back and just learn from the mistake you made.
Yeah.
Golly, dude.
Do they eventually win one?
I think they could, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that this would have been the year, but
you know what? It's just tough for me, Tony, is like the amount of like games that Lamar Jackson has played, amount of years. I don't know. I just feel like we don't see quarterbacks that like, okay, like they're strong runners, passing can be a little spotty. We don't see them all of a sudden, like in the middle of their career, become these like automatic pocket passers. You know what I mean? So that's why it's just, I just have a tough time seeing it.
Again, I agree. I mean, that interception he threw was a major error.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I don't know. I still feel like there was a significant improvement this season for him. So again, I mean, if you continue to like, I guess it's another experience for him. How old is Lamar? 20?
I think 27.
27. I mean, he one game away from the Super Bowl. Like that's pretty impressive, especially for him.
Yeah. Be interesting.
It would be interesting, yes.
But it is tough too. You think about it. I mean, because he actually came in the same year as Mahomes, so it's like the whole rest of his career he's going to have to go against Mahomes. Yeah. And more than likely, Mahomes will stay in Kansas City.
Right.
He will stay in Baltimore. So it's like that is always going to be there. I mean, this is the only time that they've matched up as of yet. We'll see if we get future matchups.
Yeah. How do you feel about? Some people were complaining about the refs. There's a lot of no calls in favor of the Ravens.
I didn't really see it. I know they were showing like that interception, but we've seen the replay, and Gene's territory even agreed. If the contact is after the interception,
it doesn't. Yeah,
it means nothing. So.
I saw there was one that was pretty egregious against Odell though, and it was I want to say at that point in the red zone, and there was like
said it was a pass interference.
I think it should have been.
Okay,
it seemed like the guy pushed him as he was like trying to catch the ball.
Yeah,
no call.
And I think also too. I mean, you think back to any postseason. I mean, it's never going to be perft.
Never.
So there's always going to be stuff people are complaining about. But I thoroughly enjoyed watching that game. Was your house? Were you guys rooting for anybody?
I was rooting for the Ravens.
What about everyone else? Just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, my mother doesn't really care that much. My dad definitely does not like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And did he go into detail? Did I need to talk to him about it?
I think maybe you should. You should bring it up next time you see him.
Brittany? Is it Brittany?
No, he thinks he's a crybaby. And he gets like favorited, like he gets like all he gets all the calls, roughing the passer, whatever.
No, I mean,
like
listen. I mean, anytime your at the top of your sport,
Yeah.
everybody's going to say that. Like they said that about Brady.
Mhm.
Mahomes has a very good chance to, really come close to or
Yeah.
duplicating what Brady has done. So of course you're going to hear stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? Like, do you think there's a decent shot though, by the time that he's done, that he might be, regarded higher than Brady, or do you?
Oh yeah,
You think there's a
definitely.
really good shot?
I mean, again, he's still so young.
28.
Like it's kind of ridiculous.
Especially the third title at 28.
Yeah, it'd be
crazy.
unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about Corey going Girardi here?
yeah, Harbaugh was like a Girardi situation. Won the championship, and then years later, after losing a championship game, he got dumped. Pete Carroll to Baltimore? Question mark.
that would be interesting, honestly. Do you I don't know, like, is there any differentiation for you between the two? Like, do you think one is better than the other, or do you think they're similar coaches, Carroll and Harbaugh?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're pretty similar. I mean, when you think of,
one title each,
and when you think of like, a bad coaching call, like ruining your Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Carroll, the slant. Gave it a
Dan Campbell-ish.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what are you doing? Like,
but no, I don't. I think he'll be there the rest of his career, John Harbaugh.
I think so too.
Yeah. We had a couple. Did we have a couple more comments?
Yeah, sure.
Bernie, what up?
Yeah, we had Bernie in the house saying, "Morning, fellas, let's go Lions." Choked. He says we're about to get in there. Josh B says, "Bernie, what up? Morning, Prez." And then JB wants to know, who do you got, Kansas City or San Francisco?
Well, I mean, everybody already knows who I'm going to say is going to win, so I'll just leave that to Tony, and Tony will tell you Brock Purdy. He sees Mahomes in him. He's due to get over the hump, win the Super Bowl, so that's what he thinks.
He's due to get over the hump. I wasn't going to say that. I mean, geez, I don't think he's really due for anything necessarily. Yeah, the second year, get over the hump.
Mr. Irrelevant. Back-to-back championship games to start his career, Super Bowl appearance. He's due.
He's due. But I still would say 49ers.
And Josh B says they could still use number one.
The Chiefs.
Yeah. But can Lamar deliver him the ball? Interesting,
Yeah.
And do they go for Mike Evans? And would Mike Evans even want to go there? I can see Mike Evans being tight.
I feel like, where's Odell? Wow, 6 targets, only 3 receptions.
I think Odell is actually still pretty good, but again, Lamar, I don't think can get people the ball consistently. I mean, I know Flowers had a good year there, but it's just I have a tough time thinking with Lamar. He spreads the ball out. You're going to have a receiver dominate 100 catches, 1,400 yards. I don't know if that's out there.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So that'll be interesting to see. And we know now we will have a rematch of the Super Bowl from 4 years ago as San Francisco erases a 17-point halftime deficit to defeat the Detroit Lions 34-31. What a game. And as we were approaching halftime in this one, it seemed like one of those up. We had a great first championship game. The second one's a snooze fest. Like, I'm probably not even going to end up watching the end of it. But it ends up being, very exciting. The first quarter, the Lions, the hot start, after a San Francisco missed field goal after the Lions, Jameson Williams had a 42-yard rushing touchdown. The wide receiver on the end of round made it 7-0. Lions get the ball back, running the ball. David Montgomery, the rushing touchdown, made it 14-0. Niners didn't answer back. McCaffrey had a 2-yard touchdown run, 8 plays, 75 yards, made it 14-7. But Gibbs, a 15-yard rushing touchdown, made it 21-7. And Dan Campbell, the one time he decides to kick, hits a 21-yard field goal to make it 24-7 before the end of the half. And second half, unfortunately for Detroit, all San Francisco here. First drive, they get a 43-yard out of Mooney to make it 24-10. And then, they take advantage of a muffed, I believe it was a muffed punt, right?
Yeah.
Muffed punt, made it 24-17. And then the Lions don't get it on fourth down. Niners get the ball back and go on a short drive, tying up the game at 24. Get the ball back again, 33-yard field goal from Moody. Christian McCaffrey makes a ridiculous play, lands on his head. So they have to put in backup running back Elijah Mitchell for his first carry of the game. Good from 3 yards out to make it 34-24. Lions take too much time off the clock, have to waste a timeout, don't get the onside kick after scoring a touchdown, and lose this game 34-31. The biggest comeback in championship game history.
Wow.
What were you thinking watching this one tonight?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I guess taking from the top here, watching this game, I thought that the Lions just had complete control of the game, it seemed. I mean, their running game was absolutely ridiculous.
Mhm.
Montgomery and Gibbs, and it was interesting because we talked about it and we were like, oh, at least last week I said, I don't know if this running game could really like get the ball rolling. Like they're gonna have to probably rely on strictly passing. But I mean, the end around with Gibbs, I mean, Montgomery up the middle, just finding seams and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really impressive seeing these guys gain like 6 yards every carry.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that this would be kind of like an all-day situation, but then of course, you had I think Gibbs were fumbled right late in the game, which was definitely tough. And then I don't know. I feel like there was a few drops that definitely I forget who it was over the middle, but it was like in the third quarter, it was a 3rd and 10 too. But the Lions, Goff throws to this receiver. I don't think it was St. Brown. It may have been Jameson
Josh
Williams.
Reynolds,
it was Reynolds?
Reynolds, I was going to say, had 2 drops.
Yeah.
Huge drops. One of them a 4th down drop.
Yeah.
Can't have that. Also, I forgot to mention the Ayuk off the helmet catch.
That was crazy. Like, unbelievable. Like,
I don't know. That was David Tyree all over again.
Yeah, no, yeah. And honestly, I don't know who that the defense guy was, but I mean, it went right through his hands. Like it should have been an interception almost.
Yeah.
But they ended up calling a penalty on that, no? Like it would have been a flag.
No. So they didn't.
They didn't.
They were like, oh, there is no flag.
So it would have been an interception if he caught that, basically.
No, but I think the flag was on the defense. But
there was.
There
was a flag.
Okay. But they didn't end up calling it.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know, dude. It was pretty crazy. I think the Lions too. Again, I mean, you look at this team talent wise. I don't think there's anything I would change though. I mean, again, a couple of drops that sucks. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like those fourth down. The going for the 4th down like really killed you, I think, at the end.
Well, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't change anything. Offensively, you don't really have to change much. Maybe you want to get rid of Josh Reynolds after all those drops.
Yeah.
But I know he was played well with Goff during the season. But I mean, I think the defense needs a lot of help. That's I mean, like we talked about the Ravens and the Chiefs defenses. I mean, the Lions pales in comparison to that. And I know San Francisco got torched in their own right. But I would definitely, give Aiden Hutchinson some help on defense.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, again, what we were talking about with, the sensitive era that we live in, that people don't deserve criticism, the this, the that. You have to look at the bigger picture, what Detroit accomplished this year. I don't care. I think Dan Campbell completely blew it. And I know, he's been going for it all year, this and that. But you have to adjust your approach based on the game, especially when it's a game like this, the NFC Championship game. This isn't a week 15, Thursday night football game here. This is your season. And you have multiple opportunities to extend that lead. And you don't kick, and it ends up costing you. And I really think like it was right after San Francisco had went on a drive, kicked the field goal to start the second half. Then Detroit has a chance to answer back and keep it at 17. That's where the game ended. Detroit not getting it. And also, too, I'm always one, especially Madden. I know you're the same way. We don't want to punt. We just want to go for it, okay?
Yeah.
But I think the going for it, Tony, is getting way, way out of hand. And it seems like more times than not, you're in a chip shot field goal range. You go for it and then don't get it, and it's like annoying. I feel like all year I saw that happen no matter what team we're talking about. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. And listen, I'm all down for going for it, to be honest. But I mean, I don't know. In a game like this where, you don't need, like at that point in the third quarter, you didn't need to go for it. Like you said, you could have went for the field goal, kept it within 17, and you could have played your game, know? But instead, I don't know. I honestly don't even know what you were thinking. And then what happens? Like the final score is what's the point differential? 3 points. Like
And now it's not like that was the only time that happened.
Twice.
Yeah.
You could have done that, dude.
So
You
then
like
you win by 3,
within their own
34.
30. You're going for it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Because he's too jacked up.
Yeah.
He's too jacked up. And he says, he was just playing his game, not playing the clock. But circumstances change when you have that type of lead in the second half of this football game. You are playing the clock. Like it's like your normal strategy has to go out the window, and it has to be circumstantial. And you just wonder. And I know it seems so premature to say this, but does he recover from this? You know what I mean? It's not to say, of course, yes, they're not going to let him go in the offseason, but I'm just saying we've seen crucial situations like this completely tailspin. Think back to Dan Quinn in Atlanta. Just in terms of collapses and Bill O'Brien with the Texans, a few years ago. A lot of times you don't recover from this stuff.
I don't know. I feel like he's the type of guy who could, to be honest. I mean,
but he's going to do the same thing.
I don't think so, though.
You really think?
I do. I think that when you look at that culture that he's instilled in Detroit, when you look at the things that he stands by, I mean, he seems like a pretty straight up guy. I mean, I'm sure he's going to look at this as a mistake that he made. And if anyone tells him that, I'm sure he's going to like revisit that and be like, all right, why you think he's going to be stubborn and be like, oh, this is my game. I'm going to keep playing it forever like this.
I swear he's had too much caffeine and he's so jacked. Like, and he just believes in his offensive line and just wants to go for it. He can't help it, Tony. He literally can't. And I guarantee if we had him on the show right now, he would say he would do the same exact things and that he was going for the kill shot, to this, to that.
I'd love to have him on the show right now.
But you're in the second half. You have a big lead. You're extending it to 3 possessions.
Yeah, I know. It's not good.
So
it's bad coaching. It's what it is, dude.
So you think it's like next year? Or do you think this is all like for what you're saying? He'll like go about it differently. Is this just like next year? During the playoffs, tight game, we're going to see him kick? Or do you think it's going to extend into the regular season where it's not, he's going for it on 4th and 5, running it up the middle?
I don't think he's going to be, hesitant to go on 4th down necessarily, but I think in big spots, like, again, I think, like you said, he's going to play games more circumstantial wise, in the sense where he may start to mix in some field goals here. Like, let's,
especially when you have a lead. I think if the game was tied, it would have been a little different. Because you could say, oh, field goals aren't going to beat the 49ers.
And it's so tough. I mean, I understand, like, you did a good job in holding the Niners, offensively at least, because of your defense.
Right.
But, I mean, that wasn't going to last forever. And, I mean, the way that the 49ers came out that second half.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like whatever was said to Brock Purdy, whatever was said to the team, like, it got there,
Yeah.
And Debo open in the middle of the field again. Like, I just feel like that's so crazy, dude.
Yeah. Ayuk. George Kittle only had 2 catches, but
I think they were in the second half too, both of them.
And it's just like whenever Purdy needs to find those guys, like he does.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So a remarkable comeback here, and just more heartache for the Detroit Lions. I forgot what the streak is in terms of like consecutive road losses in the postseason, but I know it's double digits.
Really?
It might be 11.
I mean, this was the first year they had 2 postseason wins in one season since like 1957. I think. Said, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty hilarious because they kept hammering that. And I remember like the first quarter, they come back with some like video, like what was going on the last time the Lions had 2 postseason wins. And like Elvis was like 20 years old, and it was crazy. It's like freaking hilarious.
So because I know like you just said earlier that going into the Super Bowl now, the rematch 4 years later, Kansas City and the Chiefs, and the 49ers, that you're leaning San Francisco, but does any part of you just have a little hesitancy because of the way they started these 2 playoff games? It seemed like they were dead in the water both times and like needed every single thing in the second half to go right in order to win. Is that in the back of your mind at all?
Yeah, certainly. But again, when I look at like some of the Chiefs games too, I just think that they haven't been scoring enough. Yeah. Would they score 26 against Miami, and that was the most they've scored so far this postseason?
No. Well, they scored 27 last week against.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like even looking at, I understand we were talking about how good the offensive line is for Kansas City. It's gonna be tough to stop Bosa. He had 2 sacks last night, I believe. And then we said like Mahomes hasn't really been sacked a lot. He got sacked twice yesterday. So I think that could be maybe a little indicative of what's to come in terms of the challenge that they're going to be facing, trying to run the ball down the field. And then I think the Niners I don't know. I think they're going to be scoring more. I just think that McCaffrey, I think Debo is going to be tough to defend. I mean, we've seen it time in and time out. I mean, like Debo is the type of player who changes games.
Yeah.
And he did. I mean, he certainly is. When you're rushing down the field and he's open over the middle, and then not only does he catch the ball, but like he gains yards after the carry, like all the time. Dude, he lowers his shoulders. He's quick. He's a big body. Like it's gonna be really hard to defend him. Like you said, like when push comes to shove, like Brock Purdy does find these guys open. I mean, you saw some real, like literally, like game deciding drives in the fourth quarter led by Brock Purdy, and it was when he was under pressure. He stepped up in the pocket. He was scrambled. He was using his legs a lot. Like he looked totally different from the first half to the second half. And I know you're worried that if he does come out slow, but I'm kind of banging on them not.
Yeah, I guess why I'm, in the other direction here is because I'm just thinking, I mentioned how well the Ravens defense played and just what a physical, hard-hitting unit they are. So for the Chiefs to go against facing the Niners, you look at it too, like, in 2 sacks, it's nothing crazy to have 2 sacks. So down the stretch, they weren't pressuring the quarterback. They were the way they were earlier in the year. So I think it'll just be easier for Kansas City to move the ball. And then you want to talk about good defense. I mean, Kansas City has been consistent all year. They never get torched. And I forgot what the streak is, but I think it's like I think every game they've played this year, they've allowed 27 or less, which is a pretty good number. Chris Jones is an absolute animal. And then in coverage too, it just seems like they don't let up the big plays. Obviously, the one time they did yesterday resulted in a touchdown to Zay Flowers. But they don't give up a lot of points. And I feel like, you can't, discount how important that is. So that's why I think that, even though they're not favored, I think that they should be, because I think some of the parts, I just think they have a better football team.
The fact that these two teams haven't faced each other this season, who do you think that helps out more, the Chiefs or the Niners?
I guess what I would say is, short of it, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The Chiefs are always ready to go.
Right.
So, why you think that makes a big difference?
I mean, I think it would make, I think it does make a big difference if these two teams saw each other at some point in the season. They would know what to expect. They would have some more of game plan for sure. So I think it's a little bit more of the unknown to both teams. But like you said, I mean, I think that would help the Chiefs more so, because like you said, the Chiefs are always ready. They've been in this position before. Niners not only have never versed the Chiefs this season, but they also have never been in this position before. So, I guess we'll see who that bodes well for.
But I think it's going to be just like these 2 games were great. Same thing for the Super Bowl. I think right down to the wire, and Rex Ryan won't be on the coverage since it's on CBS, Tony. And I think that's it, right? I mean, don't you think all-time classic, down to the wire?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Last time they played, remember, San Francisco was up 10 in the fourth quarter. Jimmy G with the overthrow.
Jimmy G, man.
And the Chiefs come back, and that was Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl. He looks to add his 3rd here.
That's crazy.
4 years later.
Good for him, dude. He's probably making a lot of people happy, making a lot of money for himself.
It's just funny how tight you are. So tight.
I'm pumped for Brock Purdy, dude. Come on. Did he not look great?
No, the funny thing, the way I'm talking, you would think that I don't like the Niners. I've always actually liked Brock Purdy, and I do like the Niners because of the exciting skill players. I just think if you're, laying stuff on the line here, I would be a little concerned that it was kind of a hope and a prayer these first 2 games. I think that means something.
Do you think Like whoever wins this game. I mean, I get will coaching be a deciding factor? Do you think? Because these are great coaches that are going head to head here.
Well,
and we've seen how creative the Niners
Shanahan, though, as much credit as he deserves, doesn't have a good track record in the Super Bowl because he was offensive coordinator for the Falcons when they blew a 28-3 lead, and then they were up 10 against the Chiefs in Miami, Tony, back in 2020. So, I mean, you tell me. I mean, no one has a coaching advantage over Andy Reid. I mean,
right? Obviously, that's what. Yeah.
So, I just think there's just a lot of stuff to point to that, and I think the 14-3 record with Mahomes and Reid in the playoffs is insane too.
That is ridiculous.
Like people don't really think about it, and like the type of what it took to actually beat them. I mean, Tom Brady, obviously, everybody thinks he's the best quarterback of all time. Burrow, I think a lot of people think is right up there with Mahomes if he's healthy and has the help around him. So I think that's just so impressive that they just always win these big games,
Yeah, it's crazy. No, I'm not like it is. No, it is crazy. It's a ridiculous record. They do win the big games.
But I know I've already asked you this, but what is it again though? Like with Kansas City with you?
Like, what is it?
Yeah, because it seems like there's a little nerve that's struck.
No. There really isn't much of a nerve, dude. I just really think that this year, and I know, like they're in the Super Bowl, but I just feel like they had, like, I don't know, they haven't really impressed me as they've, like,
as much as the Bills did in the regular season.
Well, I mean, obviously, very true. Yeah, that. But even so, in previous years, dude, I feel like they weren't as dominant in the regular season. Which obviously, yeah, I mean that doesn't matter right now.
No, look at the New York Giants, Tony. I mean, you were a fan back then. I mean, 2011,
yeah, 9-7 regular seasons, yeah,
just get in. So postseason, just a different animal, sir.
Yeah.
I was just gonna look too. I feel like the line's been all over the place already. There's been so much action bet on the game. Just what exactly? Look, okay, so 47.5, and it's already down to 1. I think it opened Niners 2.5.
Really?
So a lot of money coming in on Kansas City, and a lot of people saying they think they're going to be favored once this game tips off.
That's kind of crazy that the line would change that much.
I think that it's going to go under.
I mean, again, when look at how the Chiefs have been scoring too, I think so too.
So it'll be a classic though, regardless. Right?
You want to go? You get tickets as low as 6,700.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's crazy.
It's cool that's in Vegas though. Like Vegas is meant to host Super Bowls. Like
it's gonna be. I would love to go, dude. Like I wish, like I would go now. Spend 2 weeks there.
Yeah,
like that would be sick. Dude.
Come back with any money after the blackjack deal?
Yeah. Have to sell your ticket.
Clark Griswold, how are you? The damn dealer. He wants me to lose. So yeah, obviously leading up to this game, we're going to talk a ton. But I am pumped to see it. And I can't believe, we make the week 17 joke, but here we are.
Super Bowl.
1 football game remains. And Josh B talking about DTV Sportsport media passes for the big game, Tony.
That would be sick.
Tony's already working on those.
Yeah. I mean, read a few emails, dude. Contact some people.
Is Thorne going? Does he go to the Super Bowl? Or
he has in the past. He always said, who knows if he was invited, if he was asked to go. But he normally hated doing the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that sounds right.
Because back in the day, it would be like it's a really tough job. Obviously, it's long work days.
Right.
And then on top of it, you could be somewhere where it's fucking freezing.
Yeah, but most of the time it's not. They just kind of give those cities like a one-off scenario. Detroit.
I forget what year
Minnesota,
he went though. He
New
went.
York.
Yeah, he went one year where it was like snowing or something.
Dallas was freezing when they had it, but that was a long time ago. Actually,
so
that's not where it was. But Indy could be cold as well.
Yeah, so he's that's why he likes working golf tournaments, dude.
What do you think that Michael Butta says? I think Clark Griswold would beat
Tatum in a beer contest.
He probably would.
Yeah,
he probably would at the blackjack table. But with the Super Bowl sites, I mean, they seem to rotate a decent amount. And then, Florida, maybe they have it there a little more often than the other places. But how do you think about the way they do it? Do you think that it should only be a select number of cities, or do you like that they kind of try everywhere for the most part, unless it's like outdoor stadium, like they're not going to really do
right.
that.
No, yeah, you got to rotate it. Why not? I love that.
But I think Miami's great. Tampa, obviously Vegas, Los Angeles, definitely Arizona. I mean, those are really all premium venues.
Yeah. The Meadowlands,
not so much. They're probably never going to do an outdoor Super Bowl again. They got so lucky. I think the storm was the following day. Big snowstorm, but it was like 50 degrees. And then, of course, though, they finally get the game there, and then Peyton Manning shits himself, and I think it was 43-8. Seahawks only Super Bowl under Pete Carroll, Tony. Do we have 2 more comments coming?
We do have 2 more comments coming in quickly. Let's see. We have Michael Buckta saying Tatum would get wiped out. I'm going to have a brawl with Tatum, he says, on the court if I ever go to a Lakers-Celtics game.
There you go.
I thought he was going to one. Did he say he was going to Lakers?
He might have said it. You never know with Michael Buckta.
Yeah, dude, that's for sure.
But yeah, so all good stuff, and appreciate it. A lot of people tuned in right now, so we appreciate you guys hanging with us.
The juice, dude.
But we know everybody is riled to go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots, top shelf, he scores! Captain with the overtime winner. It's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping, rink wide, made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pasternak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right, Tony. So weekend did not get off to a great start for the Rangers on Friday night, getting embarrassed 5-2 at the hands of the Golden Knights. That one definitely caught me for surprise, giving up the old hat trick to Jonathan Marchessault, and tie game after 1, but then after that 2 unanswered in the second, and then getting outscored 2-1 in the third resulted in yet another defeat, 5-2. And to me, I mean, I said it from the onset here, it just felt embarrassing. And as we saw on Saturday, maybe fired some people up, and now we'll see things going the other way. Pretty piss poor though on Friday night.
Absolutely, dude. And I was watching this game, and again, getting angry for sure.
Did you break anything?
No, I didn't break anything. But I don't think I would ever break something.
Even if it was like Stanley Cup final, overtime, game 7, wide open net, or something, like opportunity and just completely chunk it, and then they lose. Come on. I think
I would throw I'd be punching the couch
or an own goal to lose the Stanley Cup.
Well, that would be obviously kind of crazy, dude. But I wouldn't take a bottle and throw it at the wall. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I would do that,
Jeremy
dude. That would. Anyway, dude. Yeah, I'm watching this game. I'm getting pretty tight. Because just the Rangers defense is a huge issue, dude. Again, I think I kind of realized this while I was watching the Vegas game, because we were talking about a lot of their losses, obviously, recently, which there's been quite a few. But every single one of those losses, you're out shooting your opponent, you're out hitting them, you're winning more faceoffs, you have more puck possession, you look like your offense is going, and they just stonewall you. The goaltender stonewalls you, and then your defense is just making really stupid mistakes. And I look at this team stats again here. Wildly out shooting the Vegas Knights 38-20. And Vegas still had 24 block shots. So on top of that, you're talking over 65 shot attempts here, which is crazy. Out hit them. You did lose in the face-off category there, but still, I mean, you're creating so much offense for yourself that you should have more goals, or B, just not have as many goals given up because of the amount of puck time you have. And of course, Aiden Hill, I think, absolutely killed it. You know, he had 36 saves. We've talked about him and the duo with Thompson for the Knights. They've been a big reason why the Knights have the record they do. But I mean, it's just stupid defensive mistakes by the Rangers that were giving up these goals. I mean, you're talking about men who are just completely unmanned, you know, in front of Igor. Igor definitely looked a little slow as well. I will say, I think he was giving up some goals you really wouldn't. I would say this is probably one of the worst games I've seen Igor play.
Phil Kessel's a free agent, by the way. Just saying.
Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
I don't think he's played a lot this season.
No, he hasn't.
At all.
Right. So,
right. So I mean, like, what?
But it wouldn't be worth assigning him to Hartford just to see.
I would sign him to Hartford. Yes.
No, because I'm serious. Because they just, based on what you're saying, you need the big bruiser coming in there and just like, what are we doing?
I mean, I would see what he could do. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, who knows what he's been doing? And has he even picked up his skates? Like,
he's drinking. That's all he needs to do. What do you mean?
Probably fucking Zins, dude. Like, oh my God. But yeah, sure. So I'm the Hartford. And it was just, look at this game. It was just sad. Again, I really think now so more than ever. I know Drury, I think, has explicitly said he wants to get another winger in the trade deadline. And potentially is now looking at another center because they waived Bonino, I believe.
Was he any good?
And then no, Bonino sucked. He was supposed to be a good third line center, trash. And then obviously Hedl, like I don't know if you saw it too, but I think
out for the year.
Yeah, like what?
And also sound the alarm. Igor's save percentage this year, 0.17 lower than his career low.
Not good, dude. Again, last night or Friday night, he just was not looking good at all. He was slow,
and a career high goals
the pucks,
against,
dude. Yeah, it's not good, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what his problem is. But the Rangers are now looking like they need to fill some holes here. As I mentioned, they definitely are going to need a center.
You think they should trade Igor?
No. I don't think they should trade Igor right now. Dude.
But one thing you had to admit, Tony, because I like to come into hockey, shake things up, go against the grain, the offsides, and all this nonsense. But I do think there is like what you just said about like, no, like you can't trade Igor. But then I'm just saying, eventually it could get to the point, where it's like a Lamar Jackson scenario where you have to keep him, but then you keep seeing the same thing over and over again. I know he hasn't been at it that long, but I don't know. I just think the last year plus are a little concerning.
But I don't feel like we have to keep him.
Well, you kind of do.
I feel like no.
I said that, you're
I feel like
we because
I think we should keep him. I don't think we have to.
Right.
This isn't like his third year, and he starts to continually digress.
Right.
Like.
No, and I know that's a little. All I'm saying is like everything should be on the table. That's it, because it's been a long time, long drought, and it's time to win. And
listen, I think everything is on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rangers, they don't shy from letting their big names go. I mean, you've seen them. They've traded 2 captains in the last like 6 years.
Goalies, though,
they let Lundqvist walk away. They didn't re-sign him.
I mean, wasn't he there for like 17 years?
Yeah, and he's like historically, like he was like top goaltender in the league every year. Like,
right, but they let him go when he was like 39, right?
Yeah, but there was never really a point where he was the one struggling.
Yeah,
it was the team.
Besides the end of the career, he was like his last year.
Yeah, but he didn't have a defense in front of him. So
you think that's the issue here? Like this is all fixed for Igor with like the defense stepping up.
I think. It'll definitely help, certainly. Because, dude, we've seen some of these looks that players are getting at Igor. It's just like there's not even a chance that he's making these saves, Talking like breakaways, like you're talking, or just men coming in hot, total with no defender on them. And I think, we'll get to our next game too, because, they did win on Saturday in the back-to-back. But, I mean, it's just crazy. It really is crazy because you watched your defense completely crumble. I mean, like I said, like your offense is bumping. Obviously, they could use some help. I mentioned like not having Hedl is huge. Like that is such a fucking like annoyance to their offense because he's a great center. He was arguably the best player of the kid line. Like you lost your best like young player, really, in my eyes. Not to mention if he's your third line center, like that's just ridiculous. If the way he could produce at the third line, that right there would make this lineup a Stanley Cup winning lineup.
Right.
I'm telling you. And then I don't know, dude. Tyler Pitlick is the guy you bring up from Hartford. I don't know. He's been up quite a few times because of the injuries throughout the season. I don't really see him being that like much of a factor. Brodzinski has showed some improvement. But I don't know, dude. You definitely need a center for your third line. Absolutely. They talked about another winger. I don't know. In my eyes, we may get lucky with some of the defensemen, but I think it might be better to go to a defenseman, a center defenseman, the trade deadline.
Couple things here.
Yeah.
Non-related, kind of. What do you think about Kev talking about Mr. Papa Giorgio changing 500 at the blackjack table? And it's funny, me for once getting the movie.
Yeah, I can't believe you get this movie reference.
And
Papa
then
Giorgio.
Michael Buckta, just like how Tatum is trash. Sorry, I've been putting so many comments about Tatum during these shows, but I have so much beef and hate for him. And then Corey talking McDavid wanting nothing to do with this Rangers drama. I mean, listen, we had a mile head start.
Right.
We were like the Lions in the third quarter yesterday this season, and now all of a sudden the pendulum is completely shifted. 15 in a row for Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. Why is Corey bringing up the Rangers though? Like I don't understand the connection here.
no, because we've talked about McDavid going to the Rangers.
You talked about that.
Okay, but I'm saying, so now here we are. There's some tough times. He's saying, "Oh, well, McDavid's not going to want to go over that." Just having fun with the situation.
No. I don't appreciate him having fun with the situation, Corey. Okay.
Well, hey, I mean, right now, if we're going off last game, it's a good situation.
No, yeah.
7 unanswered goals against Ottawa on Saturday night as they beat them 7-2. Their last game before the All-Star break. Hate the scheduling, how there's like a couple games the next couple
It's
days.
bullshit.
What are we doing? And then
Honestly.
a long break,
Mhm.
and it's just like it's annoying. But at least we end the first half on a strong note, and it'd just be interesting to see what they do with this time off and how they respond. But it was just nice to see Quick had one of those games in a while where he's like pretty lights out. So it was refreshing to see.
Oh yeah, and honestly, again, I think this is the game where I started to realize even more that it was an issue with defense, and it could even be Igor too at this point. But I'm telling you right now, it is because of defense or your goaltending at this point. If you're a Ranger, I think that's where you need to kind of improve the team at the trade deadline significantly, because now Jacob Trouba suspended 2 games on Friday night for a hit, which is kind of bullshit. Doesn't matter. I think at this point the league just needed to kind of like show some discipline. I guess maybe the hit was a little dirty. It doesn't matter. Suspended 2 games. So obviously you're without Trouba for this game, and then Miller, I believe, was a little banged up. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but Miller was not playing either. So you call up 2 defensemen from Hartford. You call up Zach Jones, who's been called up a couple times, I think, but limited time, and then Connor Mackey. So two defensemen from Hartford. And I know you go down 2-0 early. And again, getting a little angry here. But the 7 unanswered goals. Zach Jones, by the way, with a goal and an assist. The defenseman called up from Hartford.
Yeah,
did a really good job. And you want to talk about, like you want to talk about setting the tone. Connor Mackey, again, a defenseman. He has a few years in the league. I think Arizona, maybe Calgary too. But Rangers are down 2-0. It's the second period right now. Connor Mackey, just to get something going, puts out a very clean hit, I believe, on Stutzel. Kachuk doesn't like it, comes over. Mackey fights him. Everyone gets riled. Literally a minute later, Lafreniere scores a goal. After that, Zach Jones scores. And I mean, again, like, you got to admit, I mean, that is the type of attitude and the impact you need from a player, from a defenseman. Get in there, get a good fight going, get the boys riled, and get another young defenseman in Zach Jones. And he talks about it. I mean, he says, been practicing with Panarin a lot. It's like Panarin has the puck. Like, you go crash the net because he'll probably get you the puck. That's exactly what he did. Crashes the net, finds the puck, scores, contributes with another assist too, +4 on the ice for the night. That's the defenseman you want. That I feel like the Rangers haven't really seen in a while. But all your defensemen obviously plus on the ice because you scored 7 times. And of course, Kakko, Kreider, Panarin, Brodzinski got a goal as well. The youthful center contributing as Michael's coming into the room. What's up, Michael? Ready for the chat. Thank you for the coffee. What? So I was like, what? 2 men in here. Michael's not used to the male smell.
No, it's like
Wow, dude. What did you say about that, Brian?
I mean, it wasn't me. I'll tell you that can't say it was you, but it wasn't me.
It was only you and me in the room, Brian. But obviously, 7 unanswered goals. It was great. Like you said, quick too was certainly making some great saves. So I mean that was certainly a breath of fresh air. And I know it's Ottawa, but you're still down 2-0. You still have to kind of have that mental capacity to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps and then execute. And I mean, once you get the ball rolling, I mean, it was a downhill battle all night. So that was great, dude. That was a great win. I felt good after that.
Yeah. Too bad we just didn't have to wait 20 days to play, but
yeah. No, when the hell is the next game, dude? How many days are we off right now, dude?
It's is it next? I think it's next Monday or no?
Oh my
next
God,
Tuesday.
It's the 5th. Yeah. So literally we have to wait a week.
It's next Monday. Yeah. That's tough, and it's Colorado.
Now, coming back from that break and you got to play Colorado, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, but at least you're at home.
Yes, at least you're at home, dude.
And at least all the negative things we've been saying about the Rangers.
Yeah.
The fact that they're top of the division, 63 points before the break. Now it's like, okay, but let's start playing that hockey, before we had, what break was it? Holiday break. Like Christmas break. Yeah. That I'm saying that's when the struggle started for the Rangers.
Yeah, and it's tough too. But you mentioned, I mean, were they 4th in their conference, 3rd in their conference still? I mean, they're 2 points above the Hurricanes, who've been having some troubles of their own. So, they have room. They have the ability to be in control at the trade deadline, to choose who they want. It will be really interesting to see if Drury still wants to go with a winger. Because I feel like, I don't know, you got Blake Wheeler in there. He's actually been contributing to the bottom 6 for sure. And I just feel like if you get them a good center, but again, we'll see. I don't know what centers are available come trade deadline or defenseman. Let's see. NHL. The bait list, dude. The NHL trade bait list. Just give me a list, please. Top 20 here. Oh wow, Elias Lindholm would be pretty interesting. 29-year-old center, 30 points in the season so far. Yeah, it is tough too. I would have to look into the Rangers cap space because I'm pretty sure they have very limited cap space.
Tight.
It is very tight. So again, you're trying to get 2 guys. You may be, those guys $4.5 million right there, the cap hit. Interesting. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. So, you hope that maybe resting for this break, maybe help them as well. Geez.
You all right, dude?
Yeah, just all of a sudden this allergy.
It must have been when Michael walked in.
Yeah,
right?
It probably was.
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to quickly add up the picks for Friday chat. If you could just, this is gonna take 2 seconds, Tony, but if you could just help me out here for Friday.
From Friday, hold on, stand by. Let's go to the scores here from Friday.
So so start with me. Rangers in the over, so that's 1. Panthers in the over, that's 2.
That's just 1.
With the 2 total, I'm saying.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's 2 total. Yeah.
Avalanche in the over, that's
3
total, and then Kraken in the over, that's 5 total. So 5 points there to bring me to 78.
Wouldn't that just hold on? Kraken in the over, the Blues won.
Oh, 77.
4 points, Brian.
I was thinking of last night's game when the Kraken won. All right, so you have Rangers in the over, that's 1. Panthers in the under, Jeremy Schaap, that's 2, 3, right?
Yep.
3. And then the Avalanche in the over, that's 4. And then the Blues in the over, that's 5, 6.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Schaap with 86. All of a sudden you're up 9. What the hell happened?
It's crazy. Hockey the past couple of days have been just ridiculous.
Yeah. I wish I had more opportunities tonight, but I got 1 game here. And I guess since you feel bad for me, you'll let me go first on this one.
Yeah,
I guess we'll do the total too, so you could take
Whatever-
pick there.
You can pick both.
Okay.
If you really want to. So let me see
Is
the
it
over
6.5?
under.
Or
No way,
This
it's five
seems
and
like
a
half.
Oh, it's 6.5. That's
It is
right.
6.5. All right. Whatever. Nashville and the under.
Okay.
So I don't win the over for you.
I will take. I don't want the over. Yes.
It's so annoying. 2 games tomorrow and then 3 games Wednesday before the break. Predators and the under. Ottawa sucks though. You have to admit.
Ottawa does suck. I mean, he just got destroyed by the.
Like there's like you weren't even. If it wasn't like the way the pick was just right now, like it wasn't even in the realm for you to consider Ottawa in this scenario.
I would definitely take Predators in the under.
Yeah. So, but either way, still be down 7, even if they hit. So it doesn't even matter. And then there wasn't any baseball news over the weekend, right? If there was, it was just like nothing that we like somewhat care about.
They had the awards right this weekend. It was nice to see all them at that. You guys see
Garrett Cole,
Blake Snell, who still is a free agent, by the way.
Yeah, he wants his bag.
Blake Snell, Cy Young, dude.
But everybody knows he's got fraud written all over him. That's kind of why he hasn't gotten a deal.
That's more. He has 2 Cy Youngs.
He does,
right?
Yeah. Scherzer and DeGrom aiming for mid-summer return.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Adam Frazier, Royals, 1 year, $4.5 million, and then Hector Neris. It's just like the Yankees were interested in him. Thought he needed a multi-year deal. 1 year, $9 million with an option for the second. I don't know why they didn't pursue him. And the Guardians, little reunion with Cookie Carrasco.
I did see that. Deal, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Don't get too happy.
The Tigers going pre-MLB extension, 6 years, $28.6 million to Colt Keith. So the 22-year-old infield prospect, 5th round draft pick in 2020. So
yeah, small change here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worth it for the team to try those type of deals. Pre-majors, because the value just skyrockets. And
Phil Kessel,
but then you think about like what Acuna is missing out on right now, and it's heartbreaking for him, really, if you think about it.
Luis Angel.
But I mean, has there been any news about him? Like, is he working on the offseason swing? Is he playing in the Dominican League?
Dominican League for sure.
Yeah. You haven't seen him like pop a couple out?
No. I haven't even heard anything, dude.
And then I know you're excited about this. Actually, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Ottavino, 4.5.
Oh my God, the re-sign. That's right. Yes, dude. I mean, I'm not like that upset about it, I guess. I mean, the guy, not for nothing, turned down his option, which is he had a player option for 7.5.
So I guess he misread the market.
He he definitely misread the market. And I mean, honestly, dude, like, Ottavino probably our like most reliable guy out of the fucking bullpen right now.
I honestly, I have to give you credit for this mature response because I thought you were going to be pretty tight. But I get what you're saying, but it still is like you should be doing better.
Though. No, obviously we should be. I mean,
it's like, when you think about it, 4.5 is not a big deal. It's
not
like a good value.
It is honestly, I think, great value for him. I'm surprised that he couldn't find anywhere else that would want him. I understand the age, maybe he's 35, 37,
37 probably.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand maybe that, but that's still, I mean, I guess you saved money by waiting it out, which is good. And again, I mean, I'm happy because of our bullpen not being good from anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
Brooks Raley, dude. I mean, we'll see.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm not happy about where our bullpen looks. So I would it's definitely an improvement, dude.
Yeah.
Signing him.
What about divisional previews, Tony? Are you getting juiced?
Not really, dude.
Are you serious?
I mean, yeah, I'm juiced for the divisional previews. I'm juiced for the season. But like, come on. I want to
You're expecting them to get swept for a series.
Like, let's go. Like the NL East. Like, I want to be happy when I talk about that.
But instead, it seems like
I'm not going to be happy about it.
You're going to be talking like Jeremy Schaap.
Yeah, Jeremy Schaap.
After a 7-day bender where he hasn't slept at all. You've told me 4 times, but is it the Nationals are playing for the home opener?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, you should win that one, right?
I know. Patrick Corbin. Oh my God.
Or no, it would have been Mackenzie Gore, right? Isn't he their best pitcher?
Oh yeah, Gore definitely. Gore's not bad.
Didn't he? I thought he had a big start against the Mets, right? Last year.
Yeah, no, he did. Let's see, where am I, dude?
But I think they play in Korea or Taiwan or something to start the season.
Wait, who?
The Dodgers and the Padres.
Oh, no kidding. To start the season, not spring training. Hold on. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, the Mets for opening day. Spring training. Oh. Oh no, it's against Milwaukee, of course, dude. It is against Milwaukee.
Stearns, the tribute.
That's
all
right,
that.
dude.
Actually,
Actually, pretty interesting. They don't play. I feel like normally they do open up against Washington.
Yeah.
But they don't play a divisional opponent until
Atlanta. Huh. Interesting. But honestly, I hope that the Mets are in it. I hope that they're not just buried from the beginning and they're just tight all season.
We can get tickets. Let's go. Home opener on April 5th against the Reds. $18. Oh wait, no, sorry. The home opener is against Milwaukee. I'm shot. Just disregard, dude.
And then Josh B coming off says, "Ha Jeremy Schaap, ESPN."
He does love that.
He does because he knows. He watched them, the sports reporters, all of that stuff. That being said, another great show today.
Oh yeah, dude.
Really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume. Merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.